The squad, captained by Beckham, looks strong. Many feel this should be England's year. And the tournament starts pretty well for them, with a trademark Beckham free kick.
Beckham bent it in. Off the defender and in! England up and running! Another searching cross. Crouch! Made to measure by David Beckham! Gerrard going it alone. That'll do! Play 2, 1-2. Set piece could settle this. Oh! Only he can do that! And the quarterfinals beckon England!
But all the hopes and expectations end, again, in bitter disappointment. Another quarter-final, another penalty shootout.
Frank Lampard is first up for England. All saved! Here we go again. It would have to be him that put England out, wouldn't it?
We got knocked out of the World Cup simply because we didn't play well enough.
At the family home in Hertfordshire, just days before the move to LA, David reflected on England's World Cup failure and his decision to stand down as captain.
And how does it actually work behind the scenes once that final whistle goes?
You know, the captain has to go and do the press conference the day after and either explain how we've done so well, or in this case explain the reasons behind us, you know, getting knocked out of the World Cup. Whereas no one knew at the time what I actually was going to do. I'd known for 6 months.
Is that an awful day to look back on? Is that just get through it?
It was one of the toughest days and one of the toughest press conferences I've ever had to deal with, because I didn't sleep much the night after the game and night after being knocked out. And I remember waking up that morning and writing down the speech and writing down in my own head what I wanted and what I wanted to do. I remember from the moment I left the hotel to the moment I arrived at the press conference just crying all the way down. And then I got myself together. And then that's when I went into the press conference. I struggled because I didn't want to totally crack up in front of, obviously, the world's press. But it was such a hard thing for me to do at the time.
On November 15th, 2000, Peter Taylor gave me the greatest honour of my career in making me captain of England and fulfilling my childhood dream. Now, almost 6 years later, having been captain for 58 of my 95 caps, I feel the time is right to pass on the armband. Finally, I have lived the dream. I am extremely proud to have worn the armband and been captain of England, and for that, I will always be grateful. Thank you very much.
And then the moment I got back in the car, I cried all the way back to the hotel, got in the room and just threw up. Threw up. My shirt was actually wringing wet. The kids were running around causing havoc in the room, and I literally walked into the toilet and just was so sick.
He really spoke from the heart. He's so passionate about what he does, and playing for his country was so important for David. So when he came back, he was really emotional, and I think that everybody was crying.
What was you thinking? Why did you want to stop being captain?
I think that I'd had 6 years of being England captain, and I just felt it was the right time. For me, I'd always go on gut feelings. I'd love to have turned around and said, I'd love to be England captain for the rest of my career.
And was there any part of your gut instinct that said, if I do this, it might lead to me being left out of the squad? Did that even enter your mind?
That actually, funnily enough, never entered my mind.
I spoke with David last Monday, notified him of my decision and said that I was planning for the future, looking to change things, looking to go in a different direction, and David wasn't included.
I remember sat next to Jonathan Woodgate at the time, and he phoned me, and I was actually sat down in the seat. We was just about to take off, and I took the call because it came up private number, and I thought it was Victoria just phoning me before I fly. So I just took it, and he said, "Oh, Steve, you know, is it a good time for you to talk?" And obviously I wanted to talk to him, so I said, yeah, I'm just about to fly, but you can, you know, we can talk. And he said, obviously, you know, there's a new beginning now. I'm going to be the England manager. I'm going to be picking a New England captain, New England team. Obviously, in every team, there's going to be casualties. And I'm sorry to say that, you know, you're one of the casualties. And that was sort of the end of the conversation once he said that.
Total shock, though.
For me, it was a case of crying and then thinking, I didn't obviously cry on the plane in front of Woody, because I think he'd have had something to say about that. But no, at first it wasn't a case of I'm going to prove him wrong, because I had to sort of come to terms with what had been said and the situation. But then after maybe a day or two of speaking to my friends, to my family, then it was a case of, okay, this is the situation, now how do I get myself out of it?
Right, so he didn't make it abundantly clear to you that there was no way back for you. He didn't say, look, there's nothing you can do.
It felt as if it was.
Right.
It felt, with the conversation and the things that were said, that was it, to be honest.
David was out of the national squad for nearly a year, missing 9 matches. But a succession of poor England performances under Steve McClaren, coupled with Beckham's return to form in Madrid, had the media and the fans calling for his return.
In that time that you're out of the England picture, the England fans, who were clearly disenchanted, were chanting for you.
Yeah, I had all my mates ringing me at the time, actually sending me messages. I was sat, because I remember, I think Victoria and the boys were in London, and I was sat with like a big pizza and chips on my lap. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I had a big salad.
Yeah. A big fruit juice.
Big salad, fruit juice and a banana. And I was watching the game, and I could hear it. I could hear, you know, the chants of "There's only one David Beckham." Well, I had a phone call saying Steve's asked for your number and he's going to give you a call either today or tomorrow, and I was like, oh, can he not call me now? So I didn't know whether, you know, it was. I was hoping that it was going to be the phone call to obviously come back into the team, or he was just going to say, can I have some tickets for the Galaxy? So it was either one or the other, and I was hoping it was going to be the first one, but which it was in the end.
When did you start to believe? When did you start to really think, I might get picked?
I didn't, to be honest. I never, even after the game where obviously the fans were singing my name, I didn't start to believe that I would get picked again. I just was hoping, really, that I would get another chance, and funnily enough, and amazingly enough, you know, to get picked for the game against Brazil, for the first game back at Wembley. It couldn't have been any better and any sweeter and any better time to actually be picked to come back into the England team. And the funny thing was, I ended up, obviously, I used to be the captain, so I used to be at first, and then obviously for that game I ended up being the last one out, which wasn't on purpose. It was just I always go to the toilet a lot before a game, so I was sort of the last one out. I don't know what it is. It's just sort of something that always happens to me, and I'm always sort of going to the toilet, and that's too much information, but that's how it sort of ended up. And then walking out and looking up and seeing my family and friends in the box, and just having the whole emotions of what that meant to me and meant to my family.
I was there with the boys and David's family and my family. The kids all had their Beckham shirts back on, their England shirts. And I was just so proud of him, because he had